Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Innocent Ndahirwe, and I want to share briefly on my lessons on what I've learned on this presentation on ethics in migration and general immigration. Uh, I appreciate that migration has been something that has been taking place since I think time immemorial, since when humanity came into existence. We see this as a Christian. I get literature on migration in as far as the Old Testament in the book of Genesis, when we see Abraham, the father of faith, migrating, God telling him to leave where he was living and migrate to another place. So, and the story continues. We see Cain also migrating, fleeing, and going to another place after killing his own brother. We also, even when you come further ahead in New Testament, you see the parents of Jesus after he was born, and King Herod was killing all male firstborns, the parents fleeing or migrating to Egypt to seek asylum where they hid Jesus. So it's migration, it's something that has been ongoing, and it's something that is part of humanity, that is part of society. And migration, to appreciate it, you have to also break it into a perspective. There is forced migration, where people are migrating because of reasons beyond their control. They have been forced to flee. But we also have voluntary migration, people moving on their own will or due to their own reasons, and no one is pushing them. And often this is relating to economic migration or family reunion, people moving to join the other people, among others. When you look at now ethical issues relating to migration and immigration, then it's more easier to discuss it when you put it into context. And I'll begin with, for example, regular migration, where people are moving on their own will. Oftentimes, we see humanity or people, or migrants, crossing borders legally and illegally. They do not care whether these countries or where they are arriving to are going to welcome them or not. They will always find all ways possible to enter into these countries, even using the most dangerous means. Of recent, we've been seeing like the dangerous crossing through Mediterranean seas to go to Europe. Here in Africa, people using very dangerous porous borders through even wild forests where there are wild animals, but they are determined to cross into a country where they want to go. Even when authorities arrest them and deport them back, they are able and determined to come back. So when you look at ethical aspects in this, uh, everyone asks themselves, why should countries, for example, bundle up people and send them back to their countries of origin where they have fled, even when they have due reasons? We've seen Africans who have crossed even in a very dangerous situations using small boats through Mediterranean Sea, but on arriving in some of these countries, they are shot at. Some are killed or others are shot trying to repel them to go back into this dangerous sea and return to where they're coming from. Is this ethical? Even if they've arrived, or using illegal means? We find this extremely unethical and inhumane. The same applies to now forced migration. Forced migration, people are fleeing because of wars. They not even this. It's not because of their own will, but you have countries which are closing borders to these people, even amidst of wars. Is this ethical? Everyone agrees that this is highly unethical. I think we need to put humanity first before even all these migratory laws. States are increasingly fronting, states are increasingly fronting their sovereignty, protecting their borders, protecting their citizens. But above all, we must ensure that really we look at humanity as human beings first, before these physical borders, before this sovereignty. Because at the end of the day, these are fellow human beings. These are fellow human beings. So there is also another ethical issue of even when these countries receive these migrants in the country, with or without documents, what we call undocumented migrants, States increasingly say they are not going to give any services to undocumented migrants. I find that also highly unethical. I mean, they need to be given at least social services. And these other issues of whether they are documented or not can always come in later. Because at the end of the day, we are dealing with a life here. We are dealing with a life here. And further, you look at incidences of, for example, migrants being given or treated secondary to citizens. At the end of it also, I find that quite unethical. And of course, different countries keep asking, should they have same or equal rights like citizens? Well, even if they may not have the same rights 100%, I think we need to have some ethics, or in the spirit of what the group recently calls Ubuntu, in the spirit of Ubuntu, humanity, we need to ensure that whoever is in the country, whether legally or illegally, as a migrant, should be supported, should be treated humanely, should be allowed to access basic services and needs. Because at the end of the day, there are also advantages these migrants come with. They support these host country economies, because when they do some work, they are paying taxes. When they do some work, they are leading to some development. When they do some work, they come with some positive culture, some positive energy, some knowledge which enriches and which supports these countries. And on the other hand, also, I think it's highly unethical of also countries of origin or countries where these people are living, trying to block them, trying to, we've seen countries, most recently, I can give an example of like Rwanda, or Eritrea, where leaving your country is also a crime, you know, and we've increasingly seen borders closed and states saying no one should ever leave the country. Yet some of these people have relatives in other countries. They want to go and visit. They want to undergo some family reunion. So this is also unethical. So in a nutshell, I want to say ethics are quite a key issue in as far as immigration is concerned, and everyone must really try and see that these ethics are upheld, are respected, so that the rights of the migrants are highly protected. I thank you.